We have 3 tasks on the campaign. We have to raise £100,000, we have to guarantee 300 students per year, and we have to have schools to act as examination and put those students forward. So let's see what the head teacher of Newman Catholic School, Daniel, has to say tonight.
Thank you. Okay, English or Albanian? Apologies. I'll stick to English if you don't mind. I'm from the north of England and I struggle with English as it is, so we'll see how it goes. Can I just thank you very, very much for the invitation. It's an absolute delight to be here, not just to meet such wonderful people from various different communities. There's an ex-student of mine over there, Michael, who I last talked to about 2004, and to walk in and see him here is an actual pleasure, and it kind of validates what we do as a profession, as educators. So it has been a wonderful evening thus far. It might not be in a few minutes, but we'll see how that goes. London's an international city. We know what it's like. For over 2,000 years, it's probably been one of the handful of truly cosmopolitan metropoles on the planet. It's invigorating to live here. Now, I've lived in London for 30 years. I'm from Manchester. I came to university here, and I've stayed here. I use the public transport system. I'm on the tubes every day. It's a life-enhancing city. I spent my summer holidays in New York, and I think that along with New York, London is up there as one of the places on the planet where you know that no matter what your background is, if you're prepared to work hard, you can get on and do well. And to be here, and to have a family here, and to work here, to my mind, is what it's all about. And to see people coming here from overseas, trying to do what my parents did many, many years ago when they came from Ireland, is really, really, really stimulating and exciting. I don't, however, think we make the most of it. I think it's we take it for granted that we are one of the premier cities on the planet. We don't make enough of our opportunities as the premier global magnet. I think at the heart of our success is commerce, I think it's industry, and that's the glue that ties it all together very much is language and education. From an educational point of view, I would say that comparatively, when I started school in this country in the mid-60s, there'd been very little change in the English education system from 1945, 1948 Education Act up until the 1980s. Nothing really changed. Okay, we had immigration from the West Indies, from the Caribbean, and from the Indian subcontinent, but in essence, nothing really changed. It was the same curriculum, we banged out the same old stuff, decade after decade. Since the 1980s, it's been change after change after change. And those people who are involved in British education know that the changes are coming now almost weekly. Read the newspapers on a Sunday and you have to react to it the next day. Now, I'm a relatively new head in the London borough of Brent, and I see an opportunity for me and for my school and for the education system of this country. What I want to be very clear to you all about is that by supporting this programme, it's not an act of altruism. I'm a Catholic. I believe that we have a wider responsibility to the outside world, but it's not just about helping other people. It's also about helping ourselves. So this relationship is a two-way street. What I'm saying here, we have a mission, and the belief that education is transformational, that children from poor immigrant backgrounds through education can get to where they want to be with work and with support. I would like to say also that education these days is a market. It's a competitive market, and the best schools will attract children. And this is the way it's been set up. If we don't attract children, we will go to the wall. So I have to be out there in that market trying to attract children. And it's my view that by working with organisations like Shpresa, working with organisations like my Romanian school that we're working with at the moment, I can make my institution better. Not just doing better for those young people, but also making the school more successful in the market. It's a two-way street. So how does this impact upon this meeting practically? We currently have 700 boys in our school. Many of them do a GCSE language in year 9 or year 10. So kind of halfway through their school life. They do GCSE languages in Polish, in Arabic, in Portuguese, Brazilian, in Portuguese, in Italian, in a whole variety of languages. Now, it's important to recognise that is not just a GCSE, a flag in their hat. We're proud of them, and they get a certificate, and that lasts with them forever. But the psychological impact of getting a GCSE in your mother tongue, in your native tongue, is absolutely dramatic. Because you've come to this country without any particular academic achievements because of the system. Your parents might not know the wherewithals of the system. And all of a sudden, you're 13 years old and you've got a GCSE in Polish, you've got a GCSE in Arabic or Portuguese. It then is the stepping stone to GCSEs in English, in math, etc., etc. So that is why we are so committed to this programme. We want the Albanian boys and the Romanian boys who live in our area, who come to our school, to get the GCSEs, not just because it's good for the school, not just because it's good for them. Actually, I live in this city. I've lived in this city for 30 years. I've travelled to work in this city, and I want to stay in this city forever. I want people who come here to be well-educated, well-rounded citizens. People who you wouldn't mind living next door to, because they're educated. And it's through supporting community languages like Albanian, like Polish, like Portuguese, and the development that has into English and maths and science that we will all make a better society. And that's it. Thank you very much. Cheers.